guys, welcome to today's episode of the Kenyan Farmer Show. I am your host, Viona Gethenji. Today we are going to talk about BSF. Would you like to know more about it? Do join me and my friend Kim as he takes us through today's episode. We are finally here at Protein Masters, and I would like my friend Kim to tell us more about BSF.
Well, welcome to our farm, Viona. It's good to have you guys. It's good also to be with you guys today. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for that, even for allowing you guys and your team, entire team, to come and to see our farm here. It's simple but very nice. It's what we're doing currently. We are trying to educate farmers on different ways of doing things in their farm. There's a problem in farmers in the feed formulations. Most of the farmers are exiting the business of poultry. Most of the farmers are exiting the business of dairy, fish, all these. But as Protein Master, we're coming with a solution. We're calling it BSF. That's the black soldier fly. So we say BSFL, that's the black soldier fly larvae. So that's what we're trying to introduce to farmers, trying to teach them. And it's a protein source. They feed on the waste. And what we get at the end of all is a larvae that's rich in protein. When talking about protein, we're talking about around 40% protein. Currently in the market, what we're having as protein source, we're having things like fish meals, those are omena and soya, and the protein content on them is very low. But with BSF, we always say in Protein Master, BSF is a game changer. And that's what we introduce to the farmers. So, karibuni tena, and anything you want us to talk about, we are here. We want to help the farmers all over, but it's not just in Kenya, but all over the world. We are training farmers. We've got online classes about farmers, on farmers, trying to help. Initially, I thought BSF, I thought the protein issue, the feed formulation issue is just a Kenyan stuff. But I get calls everywhere and guys are asking me, we're having a problem. Nigerians are telling me we're having a problem with feeds, costly. But this is a game changer. The UN statistics show that by 2050 will be over 10 billion. And this is a solution. And it's not just for animals. It's fit for humans and for animals. So very soon we'll be enjoying this delicacy. We'll be having it in one of the menus in the hotels. So it's going to be well.
Tell us where we are and what the nets are all about, because we can see a few things happening. So where are we?
Sure. So we, Protein Master, we are in Huruma. We're in Mathare. You know, Mathare, that's a place people are like, the place is dirty. But I believe in Mathare here and different places, we are trying to have the waste that has been an issue for too long in people to be able to come and help us. Because what we're trying to introduce here is that this larvae eats and feeds on waste, on organic waste, not just general waste, but organic waste. And with this, we are doing our larvae here. So we get our larvae so currently where we are in right now, I've divided my greenhouse into two. There's a larve cage area and there's a feeding area on the other side. So right now where we start is a larve cage area. These we call them the larve cages or the adult cages. These where we have the BSF, that's the black soldier fly. On the top cage we just loaded it in the morning, and but you can see the bottom one, the population is big. So it gets bigger than these here. So these are just emerging right now. These are a little bit better, but it gets more. So these are the larve cages where the BSF gets in, and that's why we have our pupa. We get our pupa in here. These boxes you're seeing here, they're loaded with pupas, and then after that, it pupates and gets you a fly. The BSF fly here is something good. No pathogens. It's a very friendly fly. It's not like a housefly. You know, a housefly irritates you, like comes on your face. You want to like even buy a gun and shoot it. This is a friendly fly, and it's a lazy fly. It doesn't fly that much, and it's something good. So after that, it pupates. After pupating in around maybe 4 or 5 days, pupates with good weather conditions. That's one of the factors that people should look at, the weather conditions and temperatures, ventilations, on humidity, all that. With all that in consideration, in 5 days, 4 to 5 days, it's pupated and becomes turns into a fly. Out of fly, inside there we have something different. We have a different stuff on the other side. That's called, we call it the smelly substrate. That's the smelly substrate. That's where we put on top of the smelly substrate, we put our eggies on top. Eggies are where the flies come and lay their eggs. So once it has pupated and it comes in, lays her eggs on the eggies, where underneath we have the smelly substrate. Or the purpose for the smelly substrate is just to give the direction to the fly, the female fly. This fly here, the lifespan of this fly is between 7 to 14 days, and then it's dead. And again, the same fly can be able to give you between 500 to 900 eggs. So once the female carries the eggs, needs to go somewhere and lay her eggs. So we put them, the egg is there, and then we got some water container. We've got something else in here. It's our secret, it's our project master secret. We always say that. But we share with the farmers because we do trainings also. So we train farmers who come, we tell them about it. So once the flies are done there, they lay their eggs, and then we get their eggs out, and then we take them to another section on the other side where they hatch. And then after they hatch again, we get them to, they always like maybe Insta 1 to Insta 2 there. After that again, we feed them to the waste. And the process is cycle that continues again.
All right. You
Yes.
talked about conditions that should be ideal.
Yes.
If you could go into a little bit of detail, what conditions are these that you're talking about?
The condition we're talking about is that this fly is from the wild. So it's like getting something from the wild and just bring it in somewhere. You need to bring the same conditions from the wild and bring them inside here again. Introduce them again, introduce those conditions outside. So the condition we're talking about temperatures here. We're talking about 26 degrees going upwards, maybe around maybe 36. Those are good conditions. We're talking about humidity 40 to 80%. That is good. Lighting, like here we are right now, it feels like we're outside. You can even feel the warmth. Yeah. Exactly, it's a little bit hot. So that's what it should be. And then ventilation, the other thing, ventilation. Ventilation should be very good also. So anytime you're thinking about or considering to do your greenhouse, always think about these things. Ventilation should be good. Like once you get in here, you should be able to breathe well. Mm-hmm. In this corona time, once you don't breathe well, you can hear some sirens coming your way. But the same thing with the flies also. With good ventilations, they'll be able to mate very well. And by the way, the flies mate back to back. Once they mate back to back, once you're seeing your flies mating, it's good. And that's it.
So in here you're saying there are female and male flies.
Yes.
All right.
So here it's a combine. But you can tell the female fly from the male. The male at the back has something like a sting, and then the female doesn't have. So you can tell the difference. That's the difference. But they all live together here. We call it the love cage because it's love business that goes in here. It's the mating business. It's the 18 plus business that goes in here. Not under 18 business that goes in there. And it's something good. When you don't see your flies mating, it's an issue. Okay, outside the world, when you see your daughters, your other guys mating, like it's a bad issue. You need to call the police. But for these, you need to clap your hands and say, wow, you guys are doing good. And once they do that, because that's the production of the eggs. Once you do that, you know, like, I'm going to have good eggs here. With the conditions are very important. Once you get the right conditions, you're good to go.
Is there anything like bad eggs, or is there a way that you can tell if the eggs that the female has laid are not in best condition?
Well, you're talking about like the way you take your eggs in the incubators? And,
yes, like for normal hatcheries.
For the flies here, we can't say there's anything like bad eggs here on the BSF. The only time we can say is maybe how you handle them. Because once you handle them from here, how you handle them from here to where they're going to hatch, once they get in contact with a wet place, or like what we're going to use, what we use for hatching the eggs, mostly we use still the waste we're getting. Yeah? So if your eggs get in contact with that wet waste, then that's when you can see a bad egg. But before then, no.
They're all
the eggs are good. They're all good. They're all good. The
right.
female will be able to give the 500 to 900 eggs. in the span of the 7 to 14 days. And as protein master, by the way, we prolong the lifespan. That's one of the secrets I say that we don't tell everyone. We bring it up to around 21 days, an extra 7 days. And there's always an argument because they always say, that if the fly gives between 500 to 900 eggs in the lifespan of 7 to 14 days, they always say, if then it does that, and you prolong the lifespan for another extra 7 days, will the female be able still to give eggs? We always say it can be able to do. With the secret we have as protein master, what we give them, it prolongs the lifespan. And with that, it can give. We always say women are over 50 plus, they give birth.
They do.
They do. So we cannot say because the fly has done its 14 days, we need to kill it and go, no. Or we kill, or we get the women who's 50 and above away from the country. No, they need to be in because they'll be able to lay their eggs again. We have to give birth again. The same thing happening to the fly. So it does well, and that's our secret as protein master for prolonging the lifespan of the fly.
All right. So once the female has laid its eggs in the love cage, then what?
Once it's done with the lifespan, it just dies. So we just cleaned these cages today. So we put fresh, let me just use the word fresh, or pupae. So we've got fresh pupae in here. In another 4-5 days, they'll pupate and be more again flies. So once the fly has done its lifespan, it just dies. There's nothing else, just dies. And so that's what we were doing in the morning. We were cleaning the cages and getting the dead flies again. Once again, we always say, our slogan, we always say, turning waste into wealth. I always say this, the waste that has been affecting us negatively for too long, we need to make it to affect us positively now. Our wealth is just around us here. It's not somewhere else. It's not abroad. We need to create. And we're saying as protein master again, we're saying we need to not just be partakers of solutions. For too long, a lot of guys have been sitting back and waiting for other guys to bring solutions. But we're saying we need to create a solution for others to consume this solution. So once the flies are dead, we get them out. And then we are saying there is no waste here. These flies, again, they are very good for chickens. They are rich in calcium also. Other guys use it differently for the smelly substrate and all that. But for us, we give them to the chickens and they enjoy it, they love it. So there's no loss. And any waste that gets in here needs to come out something different. Yes.
Okay, so now we'll move on to the next stage. After the love cages. Where do we head?
Okay. So after the 3 days, the eggs, we need to remove the eggies. And then we move to the other side.
All right, so Kim, we've just come from the love cages.
Sure.
Where are we now?
Now from the love cage or the adult cage, we harvest our eggs and then we come on this side. So these for us here, this is our section for hatching. So this rack and telly is just carries the eggs. So the rest does the feeding. So we just talk about this here first. So we carry the eggies. So eggies are just, these are the stuff we're calling eggies. And these are just conduit pipes. So we can be able to use them as eggies. And these are some pieces of wood joined together. So this is what we put in the love cage, and the flies lay their eggs in here. And then we carry that, we harvest that. Now we call it harvesting, egg harvesting. Once we harvest our eggs on that side, and we bring them here, and have them in these crates we have it here. After a few times, after maybe 5 days, no, the third day the eggs hatch. But we don't harvest on the third day. We harvest that around the 5th day because we need to leave the neonates, the little ones, to feed. So this more of like Cerelac or baby food for day 1. So on this side, we use what do you call these? The maize bran. You can use the dairy meal or the chicken mash. But what we tell the farmers to do, because we're trying to cut on the cost, because if you're doing your farming and then I tell you go buy dairy meal, and it is what you're trying to cut cost on, it doesn't make sense. So what you say is that go to the maybe to the market, collect maybe the rotten potatoes or something like that, come just mash them, just place them in here. They work very well, by the way, they work very well. And the 1 day old, the first instars love it because they're more of These are carbohydrates. So the starch, sorry, the starch. The potatoes with starch, and they love the starch so much, and they do very well in the starch. So in 5 days, the third day it hatch, and then leave them in there for another maybe 2 extra days to keep on feeding, and then it's gonna be well. So after 5 days, this is how they'll be looking like. Tiny ones, very tiny, but not that tiny. So these are what we call Insta 2s and Insta 1s. Mostly here, I can say they're Insta 2s here. So after here, then we move. We get them away from this kind of food, and bring them to now the main waste. Now the main waste, what we're trying to feed, what we're trying to eliminate from wherever we are. Maybe like some people have a lot of cow dung. That could be one of the main wastes. We do tests, by the way, here. We do tests. We've done various tests. We have it in there, and also we can maybe even check us out on our YouTube channel. We call ourselves Protein Master BSF Nairobi. You see different samples we have done. We've done it again, and we've been able to do cow dung. We've been able to do goat poop. We've been able to do chicken droppings and pig waste. But currently we're doing pig waste, and we also do fruits. So now you come now to your main waste. That waste you're having in your farm, maybe lots and lots and lots of maybe cow dung. We can be able to use it. But the cow dung is not the best, but you can be able to use it because it has a lot of fiber in it. But it will give results at the end of it all. So we just teach you how guys are going to aerate it, because it needs a lot of aeration in it. We show you how to do it. But if you go to the pig waste, very good. The market waste and all these else. So from here, now we take it now to the main waste. And then on the main waste, it's something good. I love it because the FCR of these, the food conversion ratio of these, is very high. These larvae, like around like 200 grams of these, they consume around 10 kg in 10 weeks. They are voracious eaters, the larvae. The BSF larvae are voracious eaters. They eat 24 hours. They don't stop. 24 hours. And by the way, the larvae itself eats twice its body mass. Assuming maybe you are like maybe 50 kg. You'll be eating like 100 kg every single day. Yes. Wow. You can imagine going to a butcher man and telling him like, give me 50 kg of meat in the morning, and then in the evening you're going to get more.
Quite interesting.
Even the guy will be running away like, no, I'm not selling this. But the BSF does that. So the best thing again with BSF is that they convert these waste that has been a waste to you, and then gives again to something very good. It gives something we call the vermicompost, the frass. This frass again is good again for organic farming. We need to go organic. All this we're talking about here is organic. There is nothing, we don't put any insecticides or anything. The entire greenhouse itself, no insecticide, nothing, totally zero. We need to go organic. So from here, the next stage from here now, because this is more of Cerelac or baby food for these, because you cannot give them the main waste we do. So we give them something different. For us here, we use a little bit of maize bran and some maize germ, a little bit of that. After 5 days, we're done, and then we take it now to the main waste. It's a good thing because I remember when we started here, we were going to another guy, and just around here, and you know, Madara is a lot of waste, and but I believe we will change this. We will change this. We need to change this. Madara will not be known for waste. Madara will be known for entrepreneurs now, because we start this way again. We need to change. We are changing mentalities. We're changing homes. We want to change all this stuff, and. I was getting some pig waste from another guy from this other side, and when I went to his place to get the pig waste, and they were like, please, Kim, take everything. Take everything. They were so happy, like, we don't have to dispose this stuff. So I told them, now, let me dispose it for you. So I take the pig waste, and then I get the larvae, and then again, we give the farmers the frass, the vermicompost. Vermicompost is very nice. It's very good. The frass is very good. They say when you're doing your land, you're preparing your land, you need to do DAP. Now, if you have the frass, you can do the frass. The composition is almost this. Yes.
Okay. You mentioned Insta 2 and Insta 1.
Yes.
For a newbie like me,
yes.
What is that?
BSF, we call it BSFL. BSFL is a black soldier fly larvae. The black soldier fly larvae has 5 instas. The Insta 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are just like stages. From the baby all the way. It's like from maybe class 1 all the way to maybe the university. So in that stage, once they are growing, when they're small, those we call the neonates or the Insta ones. Once we're done with that, and they feed, they come to Insta 2 there, and also to Insta 5. So what we feed our dairy, our fish, by the way, for catfish, you don't have to dry this stuff. The catfish, eat them raw. The pigs, eat them raw. And the chickens, the same. The ducks, all those stuff, the goose and everything else. The only thing you dry is for the dairy, for the goats, and then you can mix it with your feeds. And one thing as what you feed, maybe I'll show you later, the Insta 5s, it's a little bigger in size. So that's what we feed to your chickens and to everything else. So the Insta 4 and 5, why we feed this 4 and 5 is because they're well loaded with protein at that stage. So from there, again, we come from Insta 5, we go to pre-pupa. Pre-pupa is a black one, but still moving, but done with feeding. That's why maybe you've seen some of the videos, they do self-harvesting. So the pre-pupas are the ones that self-harvest themselves, and then maybe you can take them back to the larve cage or feed the something chicken. But I always say don't feed the chicken with the pre-pupa, because the graph goes like this. From Insta 1, the graph of the protein goes higher this way, and up to Insta 4, 5, the protein is good. But again, beginning again to go to the pre-pupa, the graph begins to go downwards. So we always say feed Insta 4 and Insta 5. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So from here we'll call it the hatchery.
Exactly.
So from the hatchery, where do we go?
So from here, now we go to the next, the feeding section, where we introduce the main food or the main diet or the main waste.
Okay.
To this the Insta 2s here.
All right, take
Yes.
us there, Kim. So Kim, you've taken us to the larve cages.
Sure.
Then we've been to the hatcheries.
Sure.
Where are we with the brightly colored crates?
So our first step was from the larve cage for the adult cage, and then we came to the hatching area. Once we done the hatching area, we said on the third day they have hatched, and they're good, but we don't remove them from the hatchery area. We leave them for the next maybe like 5 days. So we call them 5-day-old larvae. So for extra, so 3 days hatching, 2 days more feeding on the same feed that is there. So after that, now we get them out from that side and bring them now on the main waste. No, the main waste I told you, I was telling you, you can use the same thing that's affecting you, maybe the chicken poop. I have some few farmers that I'm handling, and they've got over 2,000 chicken there, and they have an issue with waste. The chicken poop is crazy. But introducing again BSF, they're enjoying all the way. So from that side, we come to this side, and we introduce now these. Now our main waste. Now we introduce our main waste now. On this side, if you look at this one, you might think they are feeding on soil, and it's not so. This is a pig waste that has been fed and consumed, fed on these larvae. They've consumed all these, and you look at it, feels like some soil on these, but no, they've been able to eat. And then we introduce in maybe some fruits. You throw in some fruits. As I said before, these are voracious eaters. They eat everything. You go in your farm, you've got some bananas that are rotting, mangoes that are rotting, fruits that are rotting. Don't throw them away. Just come and throw them in here. The larvae will be able to do it well. The best thing with this BSF larvae is that the gut itself, the gut for BSF, kills bacteria. So it's something good. It's something good we'll be eating. I told you we'll be eating these very soon. We'll be having them in some of our menus in our hotels. So after here, we leave it for another maybe like between 10 days, maybe maximum 14 days, 10 to 14 days. You can even do as low as 8 days with good conditions. That's temperatures. When your temperatures are good, you can be able to do these. So after a few days, what you do, you just keep on aerating. You oxygenate this. So you keep on turning these, but this one is already done. So after here, we need to go and sieve. But because what you look at, you can tell the difference now. You can see there is the black ones here now. What I was telling you, these are the pre-pupa, the black one that's moving here, and then from there you'll be able to again to notice We've got some, the one that feels like it's dead. That one again, that's a pupa. So you can be able to have some pupas in here. So after like 10 days, your food will be done. And then you come and now separate these, sieve. When you sieve now, you'll be able to get your pupas out so that we'll be able to get them back again in the larve cage. Like the larve cage we did, I showed you on the first side, the population was low because we repopulated it again just in the morning, this morning. So in a few days, maybe 3 days, 4 days, it will be full of pupas there. So here we sieve, and once we sieve here, we separate the pupa from the larva, and then we get something else called the frass, the vermicompost.
All right,
Yes.
all right, all right.
Yes.
So take us to the harvesting part or the sieving part so that we're able to differentiate between the larvae, the pupa, and the compost.
Sure.
Thank you. All right, so we are finally at the final stage. Sure. This is where we get to harvest and actually get to see our larvae in its last stages just before we restart the cycle. Exactly. So Kim, do show us how to harvest, because we've seen the avocados, we've seen compost, we've seen chicken poop. Yeah. So I'd like to know, how does this happen?
So once we come from that side, and I told you that's maybe around 10 to 14 days max, 14 days max, and but mostly you can do even 8 days. So after you've done that, and you've noticed you got some pupa on your crate, and you need to separate the pupa from the larvae. So how we do that? We use this mesh here. This is the mesh we use, and so that's what we just do. So I'll just pour these ones inside here, and we'll be able to separate that way. So we just gently spread them. So gently spread them because we don't want the pupa to go under. So we get off these avocado seeds. So depending with what you're feeding, you'll be able to have some moist. For us, when we're doing the pig waste, we get it, we feed our pigs with the market waste. So we get lots of these and different other stuff. But if you're doing the commercial feed, you never get that. So if you can notice on this side, if you can tell, what is happening right now is that the larvae are going under. So once you do that, that's it. You just lay them that way. Because now what you're looking for here, you want the pupa. And the pupa are the ones on top. So the pupa looks like it's dead, but it's not dead. And also you look at it, maybe let me just pick one. You see like this one here? The back is tilted. So it looks like a stick, but it's not dead. It's about to pupate in a few days. So these are the ones that are left here. So the mobility is 0. So that's why they're not going under. We don't want them to go under. So what happens with the larvae is that they go under, and because of light, they run away from the light. So they make it easy for us to be able to do the sieving. So they go under, so everything else that's left on top here, this is the pupa. So what we do with the pupa, we take them aside, and then we get another crate, we take them aside. After that, we get the pupa, the larvae, sorry, that has gone under the crate here, and then we do another second sieving. So the second sieving we're going to do will be a sieving to separate again. The first one was separating the pupa from the larvae and the compost. Now the second one, sieving, will be to separate again the larvae from the compost, which you call the frass. So we're going to use a different mesh again to separate that, and then we see how it looks like. Yep. So that's it. So after this, now we can be able, so this is just something, we just combine these two. So once we combine that, now we have our crates this way. Now we need to separate these from the rest, and we say it.
All right, so here we're going to separate larvae from compost.
Yes. Okay. So after what we've done before, we were saving, trying to get the pupa off. So I told you the second feeding now. We want to get the compost and the larvae. So these are the results. These are the two we're getting. So there you have your larvae. So these, assuming now this is your 100% a harvest. Now again, you don't feed your chicken or your dairy or anything else with the entire harvest. I will always say get something like 70% to your chicken and maybe 30% again for repopulation again, because you need to feed them again and then get the pupas again so that your colony doesn't stop. So that's it on that. And then on this one here now this is the frass, this is the compost. I love this, I just love this. This, you can try imagine now, this before was pig waste. Try imagine that. This before was chicken waste. This before was a market waste. But I said, as I said, this larvae eats twice its body mass. You try imagine that. So it has converted all this. So this is what we call the vermicompost or the frass. Very good again for organic farming. Very nice. So as a farmer, it's a benefit. It's a benefit. You never lose anything. That's what we are saying. That which was having a problem to you, the pig waste that was giving you problems on how to dispose it and everything, cow dung, market waste, all that becomes again a plus to you. I'm believing, I'm trusting God that we will be able to turn this again to wealth. The pain that has been in us again, in our farms, in our markets, in our area. I'm telling guys, even county governments, this is job creation to the youth. We need to think wide. We need to think wide. Why should we be collecting gold and throwing it somewhere and burning it? We should not burn our gold. We should feed it, again, get something else. Our youth are staying without jobs, and we need to create jobs. And these are a way of creating jobs. And then we need to go organic again. Guys are eating stuff that have been used with, I don't know, all sorts of stuff. We are getting sick every day. We need to go organic. So from Project Master, that's how we're going. And again, also before I forget, on this larvae, the larvae itself still has fat, like 30% fat, yes. There's a machine that can be able to extract this fat in here. Mm-hmm. And this fat again, that's in here, you can extract it, and then once you extract, your protein level goes higher than 40%. And also, that fat can be used for applying on your body, for cooking. Yes, that is wealth. There is wealth here. It is a good thing. It's something good. We can be able to have it. And it's a game changer. It's a game changer. And I always tell everyone that we may not be the gurus, but we know something. And as the Bible says that an iron sharpens an iron, so man to man. Man knowledge, your knowledge, somebody else's knowledge. We will not do BSF the entire world, but it will be part of the solution. So we are bringing solution as Protein Master. Yes, so that's it. Those are the two. The farmers enjoy this, and everything else enjoys it. It's a value chain. It's a value chain that we need to increase. Like I always say, assuming maybe you have something like, maybe like in your farm, you have your pigs on this side, you have your fish, your chicken on this side, and you have your fish somewhere here, and then you have your BSF here. So how do you get your waste? We'll get to a point that we'll be creating waste. Yes, we'll be creating waste. You know, right now waste is an issue, but we'll get to a point where we'll be creating waste. How do we create waste? Do your pigs on this side, do your chicken on this side. The pig waste and the chicken droppings, feed them to your BSF, and then feed your BSF to your pigs and your chicken, and then also to your fish, and then do hydroponics on the side, and then take your chicken to the market, your fish, make some money there, get your vermicompost again, do your farming on this side, organic farming on this side. It's a while that we need to be together. I always say we need to go back to the gardens. When God created man, he created a man and placed him in the garden. But for us, we thought that we are so wise, we left the garden, we came to the city to hustle. And for sure, we are hustling. But we should stop that and go back to the garden. We should make our hands dirty, get our hands dirty, and things will change. Yes,
Right.
so that's it.
That was quite something. I have enjoyed myself. I love the feel of the lovey on my hands.
It's therapy.
It's quite therapeutic, I must say. And just looking at this, as a farmer myself, I'm quite intrigued by the quality of this compost. So it's something worth looking into. Now, I have a question concerning the cages. After hatching and you're feeding the larvae, I realized that there are some containers that you had placed on the ground,
Yes.
like where you actually put the cages, the cage stands.
Yes.
So would you mind explaining to us why that is the case or what they're doing there?
The purpose for that is to prevent any crawling insects from coming in to your feeding crates, because you don't want things like ants or other stuff crawling in. So once you get those containers, the water containers, so once an insect comes to crawl from the ground, gets in, it gets stuck on the water. So it can't access your crates here where you have your larvae.
All
So
right.
it's a way of protecting what you have. You need to
Nice.
protect your wealth.
So those crates would actually be our security guards for the larvae.
The containers, yeah.
The
water containers.
containers, yes.
Yes.
So Kim, there's this one question I really want to ask you. What is the future like in BSF farming? And if anything, how much value should we place on BSF farming as youths and even as Kenyans in our entirety?
Well, what I can say about BSF, we always say here in Protein Master, it's a game changer. And I believe it's a game changer. What I say about our Protein Master here right now, what we're doing, we also doing online classes for guys in the diaspora. It's interesting. You know, when I started, I thought that the problem we're having in Kenya for the feed formulation, it's a Kenyan problem. But to my surprise, it was not just a Kenyan problem, it's worldwide. Guys from India, Nigeria, everywhere. I've trained a lady from Italy. Guys are calling. And guys are researching because most of the farmers are giving up. It's a hope, it's a lifeline that we're giving to farmers. Don't quit. Most of the farmers, like chicken farmers, poultry farmers, they're giving up. Other guys had done big structures and they say goodbye, bye to it because why? You do and you look at the cost you're putting in, it's a lot of money in terms of feed. They always say 70% of what you get from that goes again back to the feed. What you left behind with you, it doesn't add up. So why I'm saying BSF is a game changer is because it will cut the cost over 40%. You can try imagine if you're doing 10 bags and from now you're doing something like 5 bags, that's a game changer, I believe so. Again, coming back again to the youth and all these, and I'm encouraging you guys, and I'm always saying again and again, even in the big four of our president here, it's something that we need to do it. This is the security. Food is security. We can politic, we can do everything, but let me tell you, you need to go home back and eat. You can't go on the rallies and outside here and then you're hungry. You can't. You need to have your food secured. And this is part of it. I was watching something else the other day in Kerio Valley. And they were doing, drying the larvae, the BSF larvae, and then mixing it with the children porridge. The issues of stunted growth and all these, and women and all this stuff, out. It's good. The UN statistics show that by 2050, the population will be around 10 billion. And the biggest part will be in Africa. So we need to be secure. We need to cut on the politics and go back to the farms. So for the youth, again, I just want to encourage everyone that this is one thing we need to do. We need to come together. This market for the larvae is vast. It's vast. We can't finish it. I always say it's a perpetual thing that never comes to an end. Like today, maybe you had 10,000 chickens and you take it to the market. You've got some chicks, other 10,000 that are waiting for the feed. It's in a perpetual market that never comes to an end. So let's get in, let's make our hands dirty, and it's going to be a better place to live. So from Project Master, we are saying welcome. We do trainings here, by the way. We do trainings, we train farmers, we help them set up. We do consultancy also, and show you how to do it and get better and make the world a better place for us. Thank you again. And also thank you also for having us as Project Master on your show.
Sure. Quite interesting. That is it for today. I think we have learned so much, and I appreciate the lessons. I've learned quite a lot.
You're welcome.
And wow, guys, this is the thing. This is gold right here.
Very
it
true.
does look tricky. It does feel funny. But at the end of the day, the gold is right here. I can attest to it. It's beautiful. Thank you very much.